of strong shaking in the next 30 years.
62%. A 2 out of 3 chance. It is the strongest warning the scientists have yet delivered to a major city. Will anyone pay attention to their warning?
This must be the wrong part of it.
Yeah. The next morning, Stein checks the newspapers.
This incredible way to present things. 47%.
The response is lukewarm and skeptical. The press is downplaying the risk. This is the result of not being prepared. To ignore the forecast because it's not a prediction is reckless. The scientists admit they're playing the odds, making estimates after thousands of calculations. Predicting earthquakes is not scientifically possible in Turkey or anywhere else. This is as close as they can get for now. In practical terms, the prospect of fighting nature's power and fortifying 1 million buildings is overwhelming. But some are trying. Istanbul's new international airport was nearly finished when the earthquake hit in 1999. There was immediate concern about the enormous glass and steel roof that shrouds the terminal, that it could buckle and collapse during strong shaking. The solution? Place the roof on gigantic bowl-like bearings. The structure rests on them like a board on a bed of marbles. When an earthquake hits, the roof will just roll instead of shaking and breaking. To keep the project on schedule, 130 of the $12,000 bearings were overnighted from California. Though many in Istanbul don't have such deep pockets, the task is urgent.
There are close to 1 million buildings in Istanbul, but even in a large earthquake, they're not all going to fall down. And the trick is to identify those buildings that are most vulnerable. You start with the schools, the hospitals, the communication centers, the fire stations, and you either strengthen them or condemn them and tear them down. After you've done that, you move outward to the places where people live and work.
Even a cheaply constructed building can be made safer. The walls are thickened and reinforced with steel bars to withstand the side-to-side motion of an earthquake. The columns are also strengthened by adding more steel. When a big earthquake hits, there will be strong shaking and some damage, but the building will remain standing. A few buildings are being strengthened, but not many. Meanwhile, the clock ticks towards potential catastrophe as the stress builds on the monster fault just off Istanbul. Months after the earthquake, Umur Kunay, the young artist who lost her mother, undergoes physical rehabilitation. She is partially paralyzed. With hard work, she may regain the full use of her body. Her creativity is unaffected. She plans to study graphic design. The Erkmans, the young couple who lost their son, are slowly remaking their lives. They have chosen not to live in a rickety apartment building that could once again collapse. They're saving their money until they can build their own earthquake-proof house. The man who rescued the Erkmans and saved so many others, Iskander Uder, died in a mountain climbing accident on February 29th, 2000. One of the heroes of the 1999 earthquake, Iskander was 32 years old. Iskander's death cast a further pall over the country, which had been hammered relentlessly by tragedy, and which, according to scientists, may soon face its biggest natural disaster to date. For hope, many turn to the ultimate survivor. Over 1,500 years, Hagia Sophia has seen the worst of Turkey's earthquakes. It's been rebuilt and strengthened. In the past, the Turkish people have found a way to build for the ages and to protect what they thought valuable. Will they find the way again?